And in the Bible, it uses the word first fruits to describe what a steward does. A steward acknowledges that because it all belongs to God, first and best goes back to God. See, and in our culture, you can't even do first fruits. The government beat God to the punch. I realized this with my first job. My first job, I lied about my age. I was 15. I bought a 1956 Chevy, and I drove myself to school and work without a license. Don't do this. I was unregenerate, but this is the story. I had a beard, and my voice sounded just like this since I was about 11. And so I'm driving myself to my first job working as a clerk at a 7-Eleven behind a strip club. Not how I want my kids to start, but that's where the humble story begins. And in that job, I would sell lotto tickets and cigarettes and alcohol and card people who were much older than me. And I remember calculating my wage and the number of hours I worked in my first pay period, and I was very excited. I was making, $3.85, $4 an hour, nothing impressive. And I worked a certain number of hours, and I did the math, and I was excited to get my first paycheck to put gas in my car that I wasn't supposed to be driving. And I got the check, and it was less than I was anticipating. And there were certain little lines in there that I had not anticipated. One was FICA. Whole new F word for me. I was like, and I remember going to my boss, asking, who is FICA? This guy ripped me off. I've been FICA'd. And my boss said, that's the government. They take a percentage. Really, they didn't ask. We didn't negotiate. I didn't agree. I didn't sign it. This, they took. They're brilliant. They are in the position of first fruits. See, the government doesn't do like the church and say, pray about it, give as you feel led. That would be awesome. Right? The way it works, they take. Okay? First fruits is you give best and first to God. To even do that as a Christian, you need to figure out what your gross is, not your net, and to figure out how to give to God in first fruits, first position.